So, ARK Survival Evolved Genesis has the lowest user ratings of any ARK content on Steam, 48%. I'm pretty sure you can count that as a fail. Hey there, I'm Aki, and today we're just gonna take a look at ARK Survival Evolved Genesis because it's kind of upsetting and I wanted to talk about it. Okay, but first let's get the basics out of the way. ARK is an open world survival game about surviving with and taming dinosaurs. So, what if I told you that they released a DLC in which two of these things are no longer the case? But first, let's go back in time. ARK was released in early access in 2015 and completely in 2017. In this time, they added a bunch of new dinos and story, which is important for later on in the video. While playing, players find out they're actually on a massive space station, built to look like an island in the ocean, orbiting Earth. These ARKs come in many different shapes and sizes. For example, we have the island, there's a desert, or some are just completely broken, like Aberration. In 2016, they released the first expansion already, Scorched Earth. Instead of the lush island map players were used to, this DLC threw them onto an ARK with a desert, new creatures, bosses, and game mechanics. The main criticism was probably that they worked on an expansion without first finishing the main game, but it was pretty decently received with 79% positive reviews. Then, at the end of 2017, they released Aberration, the best received DLC until now with 87% positive reviews. This time, players were transported on a malfunctioning ARK with new dinos, game mechanics, and bosses again, but no flying dinosaurs. Aberration is also the only map where most dinosaurs can be moved to from other maps, making it feel a lot bigger than the other maps, since you can't fly around and stuff, even though it's actually on the lower end of the scale. The next DLC to release was Extinction, which released in 2018 with mixed reviews, but after bug fixes and patches now receives around 82% positive reviews. This time, you actually play on Earth and can find prototypes of the ARKs around the map. It again added some new creatures and bosses, but also made farming of the rarest resource in the game, element, a lot easier. This is a trend that will continue with future DLCs, and I'm not sure if you can call this pay to win, but it's definitely very abusable. Then in 2020, the ARK Genesis Season Pass released. If you bought this, then you get both Genesis 1 and 2, two separate expansions for ARK. I still haven't found a way to buy them separately, so you're forced to buy them together essentially. When it released, only Genesis Part 1 was already released. It came out with absolutely horrible reviews from critics and players alike. Like me, a lot of people did not like that it was released as a season pass and not individually. The DLC also struggled with performance on consoles and desktop and broke some major gameplay mechanics. This time, players were not on an ARK, but instead in a simulation meant to prepare players for The Arrival, which is Genesis Part 2. Remember how I said that Genesis is missing two of the main things that ARK is about? Well, the map isn't open world anymore. Instead, it's 5 different and pretty small biomes you have to teleport in between with HLNA, your robotic companion. At least the few times the teleportation actually works and doesn't just leave your dinos behind.
Teleport activated. Here we are, right on target.
Oh yeah, surviving is also no longer the only focus. You can now play minigames like basketball, racing, or fishing. No, I'm not kidding. You earn hexagons from these games, which you can use to buy items in the in-game shop. Even endgame items like Element are super easy to get now. Just throw some dodos in a hoop and you get Element. Awesome. On the island, you have to defeat one of the 3 end bosses every time you want Element. On Genesis 1, you just play some basketball with dodos. Not only that, but these missions have designated mission areas, in which you can't build a base. Which means around half of the already small biomes are completely unusable. And in a game about building a base to survive from dinosaurs in an open world, you can't just take away base building and open world. And last but not least, you can't fly on the maps. Yes, I did bring that up as a positive point on Aberration, so why is it so bad here? Well, you see, on Aberration, flying creatures just don't spawn. You don't have any birds flying around. On Genesis, you spend ages taming an Argentavis that keeps flying away from you, and as soon as it's done, it just can't fly anymore, for no reason whatsoever. Not only that, but they even take away your ability to fly with the tech armor, which you could still use on Aberration. So, is it all bad? No, of course not. The new creatures like the Bloodstalker, Feryx or Magmasaur are absolutely amazing, but even some of them are kind of useless on other maps. The Bloodstalker, for example, needs something to hook onto, like Spider-Man, to move quickly. Just that most maps don't actually have anything above you could hook onto. The new biomes were also really cool, just like I said, a little too small. And then, Genesis Part 2 came out in 2021. Oh boy. This one plays on a massive spaceship that goes into warp drive once a day. It's the biggest map ARK has ever released, which would be good if they didn't make it feel tiny by giving you the best armor in the game when you spawn. Yes, you get tech armor when you spawn, which allows you to fly, super punch, run extremely quickly, and more. Why did you do that? I don't get it. Now, it doesn't protect you as well as regular tech armor would, it only has an armor value which is about the same as hide armor in the original game. But it doesn't need to. If you get into any sort of trouble, you just fly away. Or you just super punch the dino attacking you off of a cliff. The map itself consists of 3 main areas. The Eden Zone, a green lush landscape, Rockwell's Garden, which is an area corrupted by the end boss, and Hyperspace, the area between the two. Genesis Part 2 also kept the missions and shop system, but at least they removed the dedicated mission areas and instead you now teleport to another part of the map. Talking about the missions, they are meant to symbolize you hacking into the ship's systems to gain advantages, like better resources or faster dino breeding. Now this is purely my opinion, but I feel like they could have come up with a better way to visualize hacking than riding space dolphins through a maze and shooting down drones. But just like with Genesis Part 1, not everything is bad. The space biome changes every time the ship goes into hyperspace and reveals new, different islands and resources each time. They have some really cool new dinosaurs as well, like the Tech Strider, Shadowmane and the Noglin. But getting element or other endgame items is way too easy yet again. You can literally just walk around and pick up element as you go. The fact that you can take the free tech armor you get to other maps and use it if you have the engrams and tech is also a little broken if you ask me. So those were my 2 cents on ARK Genesis. If you disagree or think I missed something, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, I'd love to have a chat. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon where you can get some really cool perks, or you can get some of the brand new merch, link in the description. Now, huge shout out to my ARK code leaders on YouTube and Patreon, Callum Wally, Capital Clyde, Jeff the Sea Dragon, Lev, Ripe Cucumber, Tony House and Wynock. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time. Goodbye!